You know, man, growing up, I always had to take the bus, and I hated it, because I lived way out there, and it would suck because, I just have to sit on there with some random ass kids I didn't know. And sometimes kids, would bully you on the bus or something. I had this kid, Alec, back on the bus back in the day, bro. He would tell me he had like an extra joint in his hand and then punch me, bro. And I ended up being friends with him in the later years as we got older. He was actually funny as hell and cool. But when I was a kid, bro, I hated his ass. So the bus for me growing up was a hard time. I always had to find something to do on the bus or something to keep me occupied so I wasn't sitting there, depressed just waiting for my mom all day on the bus, Where sometimes I would ride the bus with my brother and sister, but they'd be like in the back of the bus with their friends and chicks that are way older than me. So I was just sitting up there doing my own thing, as a little kid. I'm talking 6, 7 years old. And one day, bro, on the bus, like I even remember, like it got lost. That's what it was, bro. It got lost one day. There was this substitute bus driver, and we were like an hour and a half late getting home. I'm dead ass, bro. It's probably like before like Google Maps and Apple Maps were on everybody's phone. Like I was in literally kindergarten, I think. So this was 2010. Like people had phones like this, bro, like some fucking Motorola's and shit. So she got lost somehow or another. I think it was a she, pretty sure. And I remember being scared, bro. I had my brother and sister on the bus, but I think they were just sitting with their friends and shit, and I was scared, man. I remember eating 160 peppermints at the top of the bus, front of the bus, bro, because I had this big ass bag of mints that I think my dad gave me or something, bro, and I put it in my book bag, and I was munching. Like I was just anxious. I don't know. I was like worried as a kid, and I was just popping peppermints over and over and over again. And then I started to feel sick, like towards the end of the bus ride, man. And I remember getting off, and then for like the next few weeks, I had convinced myself that because I had so many of those peppermints on the bus that I was having like a legitimate heart condition. So I would just feel like my heart be weird sometimes, like, or even my chest in general, like it would get tight, and I'd be like, oh fuck, man, it was the peppermints, man, it was the peppermints, man. And I really don't think it was, as I'm mature, probably not. I was probably just tweaking about something as a kid, there's not really much I could do. But yeah, I didn't end up getting sick that specific time from the peppermints, but there was a different time just a few years later on the bus where I did get sick. And I think I got so many bus stories, at least from when I was a kid, man, because for me, bro, the bus was like, it was like an hour bus ride when I was a kid, man. It was not like some short little 10-minute ride like most kids got nowadays. Like it was like an hour long, sitting there bored as hell while they went through every single kid's stop. But yeah, this other time, man, it was in like the 2nd grade, and I think I was just kind of sick and whatnot. And well, I was sick, I guess. Like I think I was maybe feeling it that day a little bit or whatever. But I remember I was sitting by that same kid, Alec, bro, the one that was bullying me. This was like few years later. I was in like the 2nd grade at this point. I was no longer in kindergarten. He was like a year older than me, so that's why he would always like fuck with me on the bus. He was a year bigger than me. He was a kid from the older grade. So it was just he had an upper hand. But I remember one day I was sitting with him, and he was in band. He was in band, bro. He had a trumpet that he had in this big ass little trumpet case on the floor, and I was getting sick, bro, and I sat right next to him on the bus, like right next to his trumpet case, bro, and I said, like, Alec, move your trumpet, and I fucking oh, bro, I let loose. I fucking threw up all over the bus floor, dude. And this was like at the start of the bus ride-ish. Not really, honestly. I was maybe... Okay, I take that back. It was not. It was like halfway through, but there was still hella kids on the bus by this point. So oh man, looking back, bro, this is... looking back, I don't feel embarrassed. It's just funny looking back. But when I was a kid, it was still kind of embarrassing, I guess. But I threw up on that bus, bro, and it just leaked all the way to the front of the bus. Like it just rolled all the way up underneath everybody's seats, bro. Oh, this is one of the funniest stories thinking back, bro. I don't know. I didn't even feel that bad. I was just sitting there. I felt like shit. Because I remember that whole night, I just felt super weak. It was weird. Like, I actually thought I was fucked up or something. As a kid, that would always happen. Whenever I got sick or I felt weird, bro, I just thought it was over. You know what I mean? But yeah, so everybody was just like, had to put their like legs up on their seats, and everybody was like, oh. It's a bus full of elementary and middle schoolers, bro. I end up getting off the bus like maybe 10 minutes later. That's why I did remember it was not at like the start of the ride. I just remember there was still hella people on there. Like my bus stop was like towards the end, but there would still be people on there. So I was about 10 minutes before that when there was still like a good fair amount of people on the bus to that point. And yeah, bro, they made my mom come on the bus, bro, and she had to clean up the puke, bro. And I was just like a 2nd grader. I don't know. I didn't even really know. Like, I feel bad now that I made my mom go do that. Obviously, she's my mom. She'd be willing to do, anything for me. But like, I should have helped or something. I was just sick, bro. I got off the bus and just went inside, and I was like, the bus driver wants you to come on the bus. I threw up, ma. Oh, bro, that's so disgusting, bro. So being one of those kids putting their legs up on a bus, that shit's tragic. Even to this day, I still ride the bus now, man. I never thought I would, but I moved into to a place by my college, and it's expensive as shit to get a parking pass in my college. Like literally like $1,000 a year for that. This apartment complex just offers busing so that you don't gotta get a parking pass, you know what I'm saying, up in the city and have to drive up there every day. You can just catch the bus and you're all good. So it's really nice, you know, they just bus you down to campus. I don't gotta worry about parking or driving or anything like that. So I ride the bus every day, and so man, I was on the bus literally like, well, maybe 4 days ago or something like that. And, you know, it's just an average day. I went to my class, and class goes well and everything, you know. And I get on the bus. I'm ready to leave, but it's cold as hell out. Like, it was a really bad cold week. It was, the wind chill was -5, and the actual temperature was like 5 or 7 or something like that. And we're on the route home, and then the bus just randomly stops on the sidewalk, not even by a bus stop. And I didn't really see what was going on. But then this old man who is in a hospital gown and is like pretty much butt-ass naked other than the hospital gown, no shoes, barefoot in the cold, comes on our bus like shivering, bro. He wasn't even that old. He was literally like maybe 60. I'm hating. He's not that old, but he was just like shivering, and my bus driver was like, "Oh my goodness, are you okay? Where have you been? Oh my goodness." He's like, "Oh, thank you for letting me on." And he was just like disoriented as hell, bro. He just like didn't even know what was going on. He didn't really know where he was at. He kept saying he wanted to go to like this this complex or whatever, this fucking, what's it called, bro? Nursing home. He wanted to take us to this nursing home, and it was called something Terrace. And I looked it up, and bro, that place is literally like, it was 25-minute drive from where we picked him up. Not a walk, a 25-minute drive from where we picked him up, bro. So I don't know how we got there, but he definitely probably didn't come from there. He probably came from the hospital or something, because he was in a hospital gown. And he got on the bus, and the girl that was in the front seat moved so she could take his seat, and then I think he just flopped, you know, balls, cock, and ass and all right on the seat, which I feel bad for him. I don't mean to talk about him like this, but it was, you know, it was cold as hell out, and I don't even know how he made it, bruh. But then we ended up just dropping him off at the hospital, and he was just like confused about how we got there, and he was like mad that we picked him up. He's like, "No, drop me back off." And she's like, "I can't do that, honey. It's too cold out." And I don't know, man. Something always crazy is always going on with me on the bus, though, man. That's all I gotta say. Some crazy shit's always going down.